at this. What's going on, everybody? Help me take out my hair while we learn about some tech right here. Check this out. This is a little bit crazy. It's your man, Mr. Parker, aka T Parks. Don't mind me crazy. I got to take this hair out so it can get redone, washed, and all that good stuff. So, let's check it out. Check out this clip.
So really want to quick pivot to Google. One of the company's top Google Labs executives, Clay Baber, leaving the company according to LinkedIn post. He's teamed with former Salesforce CEO Brett Taylor to start an AI company. Speaking of AIs, Alphabet shares closing lower, down nearly, 8% there. Tech giant hosted a presentation to show off some of the AI features. Our senior tech reporter, Ali Garfinkel, here to discuss more about that. What's going on here? Why is Google Bard kind of just getting a really lackluster response?
Yeah, this was a question I had to process, and there were a couple of things that became immediately clear as I started talking to experts. The first was that there were fears about Bard's accuracy, pretty much right out of the gate. Basically what happened, I'm not an astrophysicist, but Bard was asked about new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, and the sentence was presented sort of oddly, and what you ended up with was something that was actually technically accurate, according to Financial Times reporting, but presenting a broader problem about interpreting how these chatbots, right? So on one hand, you have that, and then on the other, the showcase wasn't necessarily what people were expecting. I spoke to a couple of SEO experts about this who follow Google like it's their job, because it is. And what they were saying is that the showcase really reiterated and expanded on features that already existed. One example of this is the Search Your Screen feature for Google Lens, and that was talked about by the company as being in beta back in 2021. So a lot of stuff that's being expanded, but not a lot that's new. And the last thing that's maybe worth noting is that the presentation itself was kind of on Google-like in certain ways. One analyst I saw was using the word underwhelming, and an SEO expert I was talking to, actually just outside the studio, the story is developing so fast that I was talking to him and got this quote from him literally 5 minutes ago. What he said that I thought was really profound was, we wanted to see something that was a game changer, and instead what we ended up with was them talking about subtleties.
You know, I'm just kind of sort of confused as to why Google, Alphabet, all this money, all this firepower they can bring to AI is getting outgunned by OpenAI, a very small startup in Silicon Valley. What happened there? I can't understand how they got so far behind in AI.
Well, what's interesting is Google, part of the subtext of this presentation today was Google saying, we developed the technology. I don't know if you remember the fuss over Lambda over the summer, where an engineer came out saying it was sentient. Every AI expert I've talked to said there is no way it is sentient. And I think that, you know, there's part of what's happened is that, frankly, they haven't leveraged that technology as well as they might have expected, particularly not with user interface, which is what they've become known for. The other thing, too, is I think shots are very clearly being fired right now from Microsoft. Satya Nadella, I know in an article today, was saying, from now on, the gross margin of search is going to drop forever. What does that mean? What he's suggesting is that Google won't be able to keep up with search as these searches get more expensive and complicated and as these margins compress.
In retrospect, it was very telling. About 3 weeks ago, the New York Times reported that Larry Page and Sergey Brin had...
All right, this is what I really wanted.
Research shows nostalgia can help you remember ads. So customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
I want to see the interview.
Google's new, highly touted AI chatbot Bard has already made a boo-boo. Introduced this week, Bard was touted in an online ad by Google that ran in the company's Twitter feed. In the tweet, Google described the chatbot as a launchpad for curiosity that would help simplify complex topics, and it included a short GIF video ad of Bard in action. In the ad, Bard is given the prompt, quote, "What new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, can I tell my 9-year-old about?" Bard responds with a number of answers, including one suggesting the JWST was used to take the very first pictures of a planet outside the Earth's solar system, or exoplanets. This is inaccurate. The first pictures of exoplanets were taken by the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in 2004, as confirmed by NASA.
I wonder if y'all can even hear that, because this is
touted Bard as the future of the company.
Not coming through like it should.
One day after Microsoft unveiled plans to integrate its rival AI chatbot ChatGPT into its Bing search engine and other products. As for Bard's mistake, a Google spokesperson told Reuters, quote, "This highlights the importance of a rigorous testing process, something that we're kicking off this week, so that, quote,
my hair is a
Bard's
mess.
responses meet a high bar for quality, safety, and groundedness in real-world information." Shares of Google parent Alphabet were down more than 7% in early trading Wednesday, outpacing declines in the broader S&P 500.
Oh, let's look at this Mustang
Hey guys,
Dark
if
Horse.
you are looking for something sleek, sexy, and full of muscle, well, right behind me, the Mustang Dark Horse. Let me introduce you to Jim Owens, the Ford brand manager. Tell us about this baby.
We are so excited about the 7th generation. What better car to drive up and down Lakeshore Drive than the all-new 7th generation Mustang Dark Horse? 500 horsepower out of a naturally aspirated V8. And this Dark Horse with the appearance package here, that ember blue, beautiful paint job that kind of changes the color looking as you're walking around in different light. This one has carbon fiber wheels on it that lighten up the vehicle, that make it perform. This thing sounds incredible with active exhaust as you're driving up Lakeshore Drive. What better way to relieve your stress after a day than to get behind the wheel and hit the gas pedal on this car?
Arms
Are
ain't
you
like
telling
this.
me that it's been some 10 years since they had a redesign?
Yeah, so this is the 7th generation. In 2015, we had the 6th generation of Mustang. It is the longest continuous running nameplate vehicle in the United States. And this car is the 7th generation, coming off of the 2015, and we're all excited about it.
Is it available now?
No, it'll be available in dealerships early summer, when you can go down to your dealers in Chicago and get a chance to look at it early this summer.
So we're taking a look inside, and what will we see?
The interior technology. It is powered by Unreal gaming technology, so the same thing that your kids play on Rocket League, power that interior so you can personalize your performance in a 21st century technology.
Actually pretty nuts.
Jim, thank you so much.
Integrating
there is so
the
many
video game
different
technology
types of
into
things to
cars,
see here,
because that's
trying
how
to
good it
enter out.
is.
I mean, we're talking about EVs, and now we're talking about muscle cars, and plus there's a lot of interactive things going on here at the auto show. So just, I don't know, I have so many things to share with you. We'll wait. We'll have more.
Yeah.
In the studio.
All right. Can't wait to see it. Got a whole another hour to go, Roz. We'll see you then. And you can see Raj, Tracy, Val, Jim Rose, Ryan Severini, all at the Chicago Auto Show. A big special we got coming up Saturday night, 6 o'clock, live from McCormick Place.
Dope.
Meet 3 people who took control of their money with a Chase Secure banking account. No minimum deposit to open. Simple tools. Control at hand. One bank for today and tomorrow. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
A Hot Wheels game that comes to life in your living room.
Rich Jamero explains in today's Tech Smart. We say it all the time. You have the coolest job in the building. Once again, you prove it.
This was fun. Did you have Hot Wheels as a kid?
I had a few, but I didn't have like the elaborate sets.
Okay. Did you?
Of course.
I mean,
My brothers did. My nephew has them now.
yeah, it's kind of a thing. I mean, they've
yeah.
definitely stood the test
Absolutely.
of time. Of course, I played with them as a kid. My kids now have a collection, and now there's a new way to play. It's a game that mixes a radio-controlled car, a Hot Wheels car, of course, with all the excitement of a video game. It's a new way to experience Hot Wheels. I see my foot there. Oh, wow, I just flew.
crazy.
Hot Wheels Rift Rally is a game that mixes the real world with the virtual world.
It's a game that allows you to play a collection of Hot Wheels cars and actually shrink yourself down and drive around your living room.
The key component, this $130 car, which designers call the Chameleon.
It has the ability to simulate and adapt and change the way that it drives based on your digital collection and whatever car that you're selecting in the game.
The rechargeable car connects wirelessly to an iPhone, iPad, or PlayStation 4 or 5. The companion game is a free download. This camera on top of the car really powers the entire experience. It lets the car see the world around you, and it turns your entire living room into a mixed reality experience. That means you'll see a mix of real and digital while you play. All right, so I've got the car going around the house, and it's really neat because I can see the physical car while I play on the TV. Race around your house in freestyle mode or compete in themed courses. The box comes with 4 gates that magically transform on screen. Where am I going? There we go. Oh, this thing goes fast. The more you play, the more cars you unlock. There he goes. What's up, car? Hot Wheels Rift Rally comes from the same game studio behind Mario Kart Live, but that required a Nintendo Switch. This version is more accessible through iOS devices. And since friends can join in with their cars, that should help keep the gameplay exciting.
With this product, we're really going for a completely new fantasy. It's that vehicle fantasy of being able to have a digital collection and play it in this unique, different way within your house.
Now, it seems like you're going to need a decent amount of space to race around, and yes, your car will probably get stuck under the couch or hit into a table leg, but that's all part of the fun. Hot Wheels Rift Rally is available mid-March. If you want to learn more, you can go to my website. It is richontech.tv. Get lots of questions. You said, what about carpet? What about stairs? These are all things that kids will try.
Yes.
And so once, you know.
Big kids, too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of the thing where I'm sure there's a lot of adults who are just like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Can you record the video?
I was just wondering, I was just thinking how cool that would be.
Yeah, almost like a drone on the ground.
Yeah,
Right.
you can do like a screen recording, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
Thank you, Rich.
How about bundling your home and auto insurance with NJM?
I'd save a ton of money, but it would...
Insurance. iPhone's talking about adding a more expensive phone. Like, how much more expensive can it get?
You ready?
More than ever.
Dang, I really gotta watch this whole commercial? YouTube? That's,
In today's Tech Bites, Apple may be looking to add a more expensive option to its upcoming iPhones. Bloomberg reports the company is considering an iPhone 15 Ultra as early as next year. It would be faster, more powerful, and pricier than the Pro and Pro Max. Next, Twitter is reportedly planning to charge businesses $1,000 per month for a gold verification checkmark. The pricey program is said to be an attempt to boost revenue. It's unclear when it will be rolled out. And Google Chrome will soon make it easier to get rid of your browsing history. An option to delete up to 15 minutes of browser information is coming to Chrome for Android. Now, a similar function was made available last year on the Google app. No word on when it will debut, but we will be sure to keep tabs on it. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
That was it. No more information about the...
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
That's why people don't watch news.
Tonight's Daily.com Nintendo Direct and everything announced, including The Legend of Zelda.
Gaming fans might say it was the best kind of day because a new Nintendo Direct has arrived. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom headlining the event. The Legend of Zelda is set for release in May, costing about $70 when it does come out, and is expected to be a blockbuster. The sequel to the 2017 Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo also surprised announcing the immediate online availability of a remastered version of the 2002 sci-fi adventure Meteoroid Prime, one of its best reviewed games. There were some other surprises too, like a peek into the next Professor Layton game, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Also on the horizon, Nintendo talking about a slate of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to the online Switch, with titles like Tetris, Kirby's Dream, and Wario Land for the Game Boy. For the Advance, Mario Kart, Super Circuit, and I'm just naming a few. There were a lot of games announced with the promise of more to come. The announcement spending much of the day trending online as fans couldn't help but express their excitement.
And I've got the full list of the launch games and a look at the trailers too under the daily.com section right now on fox10tv.com.
Let's check out the sports.
It's one of those records that when you look at it, you go, nobody's ever going to touch that.
Yeah.
But you're about to touch it.
This is the record.
LeBron James, a shot at history. It's a record many thought would never be broken. The all-time NBA scoring record, one of the most revered records in basketball history. But four-time MVP LeBron James changed that last night.
Yeah, now they got it. Maybe the rest will start giving him some calls now. Fought for every point he ever got.
The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James.
Something I've always dreamed about, and I would never, ever, in a million years, dreamt this even better than what it is tonight.
LeBron scoring the historic bucket, his 38,388th career point.
What does that mean to you?
You know, the crazy thing is, man, I've had goals throughout my whole career, you know, on the court. I wanted to be the rookie of the year my rookie year. I wanted to be an all-star. I wanted to win championships. I wanted to be the MVP of the league. I wanted to be defensive player of the year. I wanted to lead the league in assists. I never, ever was like, I want to break the all-time scoring record. It's never, ever been a thought of mine. And the fact that I'm like literally right here, it's mind-blowing.
Last week, with a little over an hour to game time,
what's up, big boy?
I met up with the King as he prepares to take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. It's been 3 years since the NBA champ stepped into this court. Surprisingly, his favorite.
We're here at Madison Square Garden, your self-proclaimed favorite place. So what makes the Garden special to you?
I think the history, man. I think not only what's happened in this building over the years, but also the city. You know, I come here, it's like a great Broadway show, you know, and yeah, I'm part of the cast.
Born in Akron, Ohio, LeBron was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2003, becoming a franchise star and leading the Cavs to their first NBA Finals ever in 2007. In 2010, he famously shocked the sports world by joining the Miami Heat as a free agent, announcing his departure in the live TV special, The Decision.
And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Winning 2 championships in Florida. 4 years after that, he rejoined the Cavs to win the team's first ever title in 2016. Since 2018, LeBron has been an LA Laker, and it's in Los Angeles that he's making NBA history. One of the greats, Lakers legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who previously held the scoring record with 38,387 career points. The two basketball icons sharing the historic moment together.
It's just a complete honor to be a part of this league, be a part of some of the greats that ever played this game, and for me to be right there at the, at the apex with them.
So for you, breaking this record, do you think that solidifies you as the greatest to ever play the game of basketball?
I don't know if the record does. The one thing I can tell you, Mike, is I've always prided myself on saying I want to be the greatest ever to play this game. You know, and I want to, and that came from a motivation to myself, like my drive to be the greatest of all time.
And while he leads the Lakers on the court, he's got another big job at home, raising 3 kids, Bronny, Bryce, and Zuri, with his wife, Savannah.
You're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the chosen one. And then now, 20 years later, you're on the cover with your sons, man.
Yeah, man.
Bronny and Bryce.
Man.
And it says the chosen son.
Yeah, man.
You say you're looking forward to sharing the NBA court with Bronny.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to stick around for a few more years, right?
Yeah, I'll be around. I told him, I said, listen, I done did my part. Now you got to do your part. I don't know how much longer, but you got to do your part.
Well, what about Bryce? You'll be year 26, 27.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I mean, listen. That's what I got to do.
And what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be that all my teammates and the people that played against me know I played the game the right way, and I competed at a high level. I never cheated the game. I never cheated the game. I never cheated the process. But for me, off the floor, I think me having my own school in my hometown, me inspiring kids all over the world, being active in politics at times or social justice and things that goes on in regular life, those are the things that I hope people talk about as well, because those are things that last forever.
At just 38 years old, just a few years shy of becoming the oldest active NBA player, fans can't help but wonder, when will the king be hanging up his crown?
No, I ain't there yet. My wife wishes I was there, though. But I told her I got a little bit more time left.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage.
What? I did not know KD
One
got
of my
traded.
favorite books of all time is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And whenever I feel like I need some inspiration, I go back and reread it. But now that I have Audible, I can actually...
Breaking news into HQ in a mammoth trade from the NBA before the deadline. It's Kevin Durant heading out of Brooklyn. Durant dealt to the Phoenix Suns just days after the Nets dealt Kyrie Irving. The Suns acquiring Durant for a bounty. 4 first-round picks, a 28-pick swap, as well as players like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. TJ Warren goes the other way. So the Suns have a roster that now includes Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, CP3, and DeAndre Ayton in that starting lineup. But they give up a lot to get him. Let's get some perspective. Joined by Colin Ward Henninger as well as Avery Johnson. And gentlemen, first up, reaction to this mammoth trade. Colin, I'll start with you.
Wow. The NBA truly never sleeps. I'm getting ready to watch a movie, sitting on my couch, getting ready to relax for the evening. And then, hey, Kevin Durant has been traded. To be honest, you probably saw the writing on the wall after the Kyrie Irving trade. The Nets did what they could in getting a couple win-now pieces in Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, but you had a feeling it wasn't going to be enough to keep Kevin Durant around. Remember, the Phoenix Suns were on his list of teams, at the top of his list of teams when he made a trade request over the summer. So it's no surprise to see that they worked together to get him to the Suns. An absolutely mammoth trade haul. Surprised to see DeAndre Ayton wasn't in there, but Mikal Bridges is a better player right now and probably a better prospect for the future. Cam Johnson is an excellent young player. And then what we like to call in the business, all of the picks along with that. So mammoth trade, and obviously with Booker and Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton, this has to be considered one of the favorites to win the NBA title right now.
Yeah, no question about it. We'll get to how the Nets kind of reset the franchise here. But, Avery, I'm curious about your thoughts on how this stacks the Phoenix Suns in that Western Conference.
Well, patience is a virtue. Kevin Durant, if you remember last summer, after a couple of workouts in Los Angeles with Devin Booker, basically tried to force a trade to the Phoenix Suns. It didn't work out. So he had to basically go back and recalibrate and figure out a way to get back in the good graces with Brooklyn Nets ownership and management and his teammates. But I think in the back of his mind, he was always trying to figure out a way. And the reason why this happened is because of his good old friend Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving forced his way out of Brooklyn. Then that basically is accelerated Kevin Durant's trade demands, which he and his team basically shared with Josiah, Brooklyn Nets ownership, and Sean Marks. And this basically expedited his move to the place where he always wanted to be. And now that you have Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, who was going to be a part of the trade last summer, but now he's been savaged with the trade, coming off of a 35-point performance and playing extraordinary basketball. Man, you got to really watch out for the Phoenix Suns right now.
And Avery, by the way, that 35-point performance came in Brooklyn. Oh, by the way. Colin, this is a player in Durant who had 3 years after this season on his contract. So the Nets didn't have to deal him right now. They didn't have to deal him at the deadline. They could have waited until the offseason. Do you suppose Brooklyn was tired of having this cloud hang over them in terms of whether Durant would be okay with staying with the franchise and ultimately wanted to just reset and start anew?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. It was clear that Durant was pushing for this move. But also, I think they found a trade partner in the Phoenix Suns that had a new owner who just took over officially a couple days ago, who wanted to make a big splash. And as I mentioned, this return is tremendous. Like, they did not sell Durant cheap here. They have tons of picks ready for the future and tremendous players, particularly Mikal Bridges. He's a borderline all-star, first-team, all-defense type of player. He's going to be a foundational piece for them if they decide to keep him. They also have the option to go ahead and flip Jay Crowder to a contender before tomorrow's deadline. And they have all these pieces that they can decide, hey, we want to try to stay competitive right now, or we want to build towards the future. So, yes, there was probably a little bit of pressure to try to get Durant out of there because he wanted to leave. But I don't think they sold short on Durant. They ended up with, I can't imagine a better package than this coming back. So, honestly, I think the Suns were desperate to make a move. I think Brooklyn were desperate to make a move. And I think they came together and each team got what they wanted out of this deal.
Avery, I want to get your perspective on that because you know about the players they got in the Kyrie Irving trade with respect to Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie. And then they add these players in Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, as well as the draft pick compensation. Do you suppose this sets Brooklyn up to not necessarily take a step back, but to compete in the Eastern Conference?
Oh, Brooklyn is not competing in the Eastern Conference. These are a bunch of pieces that don't fit. You can have a lot of pieces, but in the Eastern Conference, it's the Boston Celtics, it's the Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia 76ers. Brooklyn is not a championship team anymore. You know, at one point when they had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, if everybody could stay healthy, you know, they had a coach that was inexperienced at the time. You know, Jacques Vaughn was an assistant coach. But Brooklyn has taken a significant step back. Remember years ago, Brooklyn tried to, you know, have a little bit of a quick fix by trading for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
Sure.
That didn't.
Of course.
So the Brooklyn Nets are not a contender. They're not going to be a contender for years to come, especially if they got to look up at that gauntlet of Chris Middleton and Giannis and Drew Holiday in Milwaukee, the Boston Celtics, even Miami, you know, with their roster. And you know, some of the other emerging teams. But I'm really excited about the prognosis for the Phoenix Suns. And guess what? My wife and I were flying to Phoenix on Friday. There's going to be not only just the Super Bowl, but it's going to be a lot of buzz in the air with the Phoenix Suns, and I can't.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes.
Can't wait to see Kevin Durant step on the floor with DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and in front of this Phoenix Suns crowd.
I want to get both your takes on this, and I want to start with you on that front, Avery. Characterize the tenure for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. One playoff series win, just 74 games total played together. Avery, start with you.
Well, it was unsuccessful. All right, it wasn't an even performance. It wasn't positive. It was a very unsuccessful performance. It was a failure, but failure isn't final. I talk to a lot of people like that when I give speeches all over the world, and failure isn't final unless you quit. Kevin Durant is not a quitter, and he's taking his championship experience to the Phoenix Suns, who went to the finals 2 years ago. He's going to be playing with, arguably, when he's healthy, a guy that's in the MVP conversation with Devin Booker. Times in the past when Chris Paul has gotten injured and Devin Booker felt like he was on an island by himself. Now he doesn't have to feel that way. He's got Kevin Durant. And now you have an emerging guy in their center, you know, that's playing, you know, at such a high level. So this is a great opportunity for Monty Williams to prove to a new ownership group that he can get the job done. So really excited about the prognosis for the Phoenix Suns.
And Colin, what are your thoughts on what transpired in Brooklyn during the tenure of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, as Coach mentioned, there's no way to look at it except an abject failure. And I think it's kind of a cautionary tale on, you know, we're in the player empowerment era. but allowing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to kind of dictate the direction of the franchise. It started when they signed and they brought on DeAndre Jordan, said, hey, give him $10 million a year.
Yeah.
That guy ended up being pretty much useless for them. And then as the years went on, they end up getting James Harden and kind of, getting rid of a lot of their role players. That team was tremendous when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden were on the court together. It was only about 5 games, so we don't remember it. I do think that there is a lesson here, and particularly with Kyrie Irving and being able to play only in road games, which in turn drove James Harden to kind of want to leave the team. There is a lesson about giving the players a little bit too much power and kind of having a line drawn in the sand. That's hard to do when you have a guy calling the shots. But ultimately, we got a glimpse of what this tremendous basketball team, so at least offensive-wise, could look like. But when we look back at it, we're only going to wonder what if.
So let's go to the future and let's take a look at what the Phoenix Suns now have with regards to Kevin Durant in a starting lineup that is special, if you will. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. You see, Booker just rejoined the lineup after being out with injury. Durant is currently sidelined, expected back after the All-Star break. As this lineup moves forward, is this team second to none in the Western Conference? Avery, start with you.
Absolutely. This team can win a championship. And because they were able to save guys like Cam Payne, who, when he's healthy, he's a very capable backup. They have a bunch of other players that they've developed on the bench. But again, as you talked about earlier, this player empowerment movement hasn't been really successful. LeBron did it when he was with, not 1, not 2, but 3 in Miami, and that they won 2 out of 4. But this put Brooklyn in a significant bind. But the byproduct of that is Phoenix Suns, if they're not sold out for every game this year with their season ticket packages, you can march out of Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker every single night as their big four to combat some of the other fours in the league, big fours in the league, like a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. Man, this is going to be very, very interesting in the Western Conference, because to be able to win 4 games in a playoff series in a 10-day period, this team is very capable.
Yeah, I agree with Avery, but let me just kind of play devil's advocate, rain on the Phoenix Suns parade a little bit here. Chris Paul is getting up there in age, right? We've already seen the injury issues, particularly come playoff time, that he's had trouble completing playoff series healthy. So that's something to be on the lookout for. Kevin Durant obviously has had knee injuries the last couple of years, the mileage with the Achilles injury. Devin Booker's been out this year. So when they're all together, I think they're going to be great. But if one or more of them are out, particularly in the playoffs, what is their supporting cast going to look like now that they've traded away a lot of what that supporting cast was supposed to be? True. So on paper, absolutely. I think the Suns are the favorite. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to have something to say about that. The Denver Nuggets pieces fit together a little bit better, and they've had the benefit of playing the entire year together. So obviously a few more moves that can still be made before the trade deadline, which could make some of the teams in the West shake out a little bit differently. But as of right now, based on the players that the Phoenix Suns have, they probably have to be considered the favorite to win the West.
There's CBS analysts Colin Ward-Henniger and Avery Johnson. Gentlemen, we appreciate the insight on the heels of 13-time All-Star Kevin Durant being dealt to the Phoenix Suns in a massive trade with the Brooklyn Nets. This is what the Suns are getting. Kevin Durant, his points per game for each team he's played for in the league. And you can see he's topped out at 29 points a game as a member of the Nets, like fine wine, getting better with age. But Colin talked about the fact that Kevin Durant has dealt with injury. First year in Brooklyn, missed the whole season with that Achilles injury. He's missed 20-plus games in each of the last 3 seasons, currently sidelined, and the Nets deal him prior to the All-Star break, prior to the trade deadline.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.
See what we got here. Science.
For the doers, the change.
You're gonna skip because we want to sit here for 5 minutes.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. The auto sequence has been initiated. Launch command has been issued. Second umbilical tower separated. And we have liftoff. Liftoff of Progress 83, the next vehicle in the supply chain to the International Space Station. Good roll, pitch, and yaw program reported from Baikonur. First stage performance reported to be nominal. Good vehicle stabilization reported. Good chamber pressure reported on the first stage. First stage performance reported to be nominal.
Yeah, they say that when you shoot rockets and then it turns to go out of orbit because it can't shoot straight up. Like, I don't believe it. It doesn't make sense. You made the rocket to go into
1 minute and 22 seconds into the flight.
And look what it's doing.
The
It shot up in the air, and now it's coming back down. Like, y'all don't see that? Like,
Flight is reported to be
on my
going
screen.
good, going by the book.
It was going up in the air, and now it's coming back down because we're going around the Earth, right? Rotating.
Good structural parameters reported from the launch engineers in Baikonur.
Oh,
1 minute and 45
go.
seconds into the flight, everything reported to be going well.
It gotta go
Standing by
shoot
now
straight up
for
and then
first
go
stage separation.
diagonal to get out of the atmosphere because the pressure. Stop that.
Good pitch, row,
When you
and
go in,
rotation.
when they put a
Nominal.
submarine
Being
into the
reported from
water,
Baikonur.
I guess the submarine don't go straight down either.
First stage separation confirmed.
Almost there.
The 4 strap-on boosters have completed their job and dropped away at 29 miles in altitude. Second stage engine is up and burning. This will be about 2 minutes and 39 seconds of second stage performance. Flight controllers reporting everything operating nominally. The Soyuz booster traveling almost 5,000 miles per hour. Again, the second stage will last until about the 4 minute and 48 second mark into flight. All parameters reported to be nominal from the blockhouse in Baikonur as we approach the 3 minute mark into flight.
Did you see that? Y'all seen that,
Confirmation
right?
of launch shroud jettison.
Y'all seen
the
them
rocket's altitude
show
now about
the
49
spaceship
miles
from the
high, traveling
outside.
at a speed of
The rocket from the
5,203 miles
outside,
per hour.
right? Y'all seen that? See how they try to hide it? Like how they just got a camera outside of. Man,
Second stage
NASA
engines
is
reported to
fake,
be
dog.
operating nominally.
I don't care what nobody says. NASA is the fakest thing out here. Look at that.
Getting a view now from the Soyuz booster.
Oh yeah.
Again, all the vehicle parameters reported to be
All
nominal.
this technology. My camera phone look better than this. NASA. My camera phone looks better than this. You mean tell me y'all can't put a good camera on the shuttle? This is the camera y'all got? What is that? What is that supposed to be? Earth? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. There's a bunch of clouds?
Again, second stage engines are reported to be operating anomaly.
NASA is a trip.
Coming up on the 4.5 minute mark into the flight, standing by now for second stage shutdown and second stage separation. Again, you're looking live now from a camera on the Soyuz booster.
Yeah, the worst camera that they could get. It's crazy. Like, look how fake
and we
this
have second
is,
stage
y'all.
shutdown
Like,
and
I mean,
separation.
y'all could believe it if you want to. I'll support whatever y'all want to believe, but look at them.
Third stage engine is up and running. Everything looking good. Now traveling just over 9,500 miles per hour and 100 miles in altitude at the 5 minute mark into the flight. Now being propelled by the single engine of the Soyuz third stage, the engine will thrust and burn for about 4 minutes. All structure parameters still reported to be nominal. Good third stage engine performance reported. Coming up on the 6 minute mark into flight. Third stage performance continues to be solid, propelling the Progress 83 cargo craft into its preliminary orbit. Again, you're getting a view from Progress with the solar rays there at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, if those were solar panels, you know what? Don't even.
6 minutes and 30 seconds into flight.
Like, why wouldn't
Third
they
stage
be aimed
engine
out
still
towards the
burning
sun? Or maybe the
nominally
sun's not
as
out
the
over on
Progress
that side
heads
of the
towards
Earth
its
today, even
preliminary
though it's lit
orbit
up.
on its journey to the International Space Station,
Or the solar
delivering
panels be
about
facing
3
towards
tons
the
of
Earth.
cargo.
And not the sun. They're solar
About
panels.
2 minutes of powered flight remaining.
I mean, I don't want to debunk this, but it's looking pretty debunkable. This looked like 1965 when they did the moon landing, and it's been it's been 60 years.
Again, you're seeing a view from the Progress.
In 60 years, and then you get no better camera. First of all, they didn't even have cameras back then in 1965. So I don't even know how they took a camera
Third
up there
stage
to begin.
performance still reported to be going well. 7.5 minutes into flight, the Progress and the Soyuz now traveling 14,000 miles per hour, 124 miles in altitude. The trajectory flattening out, about 1 minute of powered flight remaining.
I know y'all want to just sit here and watch this screen. She can't even show us. This is a ridiculous video.
Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that?
Sure. Hey, can you send me that?
Sure.
It's incredible.
I'm losing weight, and I'm doing it with the Slim Fast plan.
Wait, stop.
Well, the University of Texas researchers are diving into the past. They recently visited the mountains of Chile to get a better understanding about the last days of the dinosaurs.
The team uncovered dozens of fossils, and KXAN's Eric Henriksen
is joining us in studio. Eric, some really fascinating stuff here.
Absolutely. Lots of fossils we're going to show y'all. But these are the big ones. These are teeth, claws, and toes belonging to a species known as a megaraptor. These creatures were 25 feet long. They existed 66 to 75 million years ago, and these claws and teeth are pretty cool. They stay shiny for millions of years because they're covered with this enamel, so they're easier for researchers to spot when they're out digging. But researcher Sarah Davis says it's harder to find more remains to work with.
The frustrating but also interesting thing about megaraptors is we don't have a lot of skeletal material.
UT's expedition began in 2017. The new report on its findings came out this year. UT says the mountains are desolate, making it tougher to bring larger fossils back. And you can read all about this and their expedition on KXAN.com.
Eric, I was reading that there's a theory that some of these dinosaurs went to Patagonia sort of to seek refuge after the meteor hit the Earth. I thought that was a really cool part of this.
Yeah, they talked a lot about how that area is more temperate at the time, so they're thinking, hey, maybe some mammals and birds and dinos survived just a tiny bit longer after the asteroid hit and killed everything.
And then they put it in newspaper, you said?
Yeah, newspaper, paper mache. They were talking to one thing they talked about, you know those big long necks, the ones you see from Jurassic Park? They had vertebrae from those things that were like this big, and they have to wrap those up, and they're on these mountains, so they have to carry them down wrapped in newspaper and paper mache, going down ropes to get into an ATV to drive that ATV off. It sounds very challenging. I'm happy we do this instead.
Yes.
I love
really cool stuff, though.
It's really fun. Absolutely. Thanks.
I love it. Very nice. Hey, if I ever, pick the bucket, I want to be wrapped up in the New York Times.
Okay.
What?
Good to know.
Something top of the line newspaper.
You
Let me
got
show you
that.
what's going on.
You got that all by yourself. It's a full snow moon.
Well, it ended up being a beautiful day across the first coast here. This is a time lapse where, of course, we did have the clouds hanging around, but a lot of that precipitation stayed offshore, and now we are seeing a beautiful sunset, have some pink going on there. Just gorgeous. Okay, so we're looking at the satellite and radar right now. As you can see, a whole lot of precipitation offshore, but it is continuing to push towards the northeast. So we will not be impacted by any of that rainfall. And luckily, the winds were not quite as strong as what we were experiencing from yesterday. Okay, still out of the north to northeast, but as you can see, only around 5 to 10 miles per hour sustained winds. Not too bad by any means. Okay, so temperature wise, we did climb pretty seasonable for today. That cold snap did not last too long. Okay, so we did reach into the upper 60s, and some areas did reach into the low 70s. So we lucked out as far as those temperatures for today. Now, just like last night, we are going to be staying mild for our overnight temperatures, only falling into the low 50s. Some areas maybe into the upper 40s, but luckily, again, we are going to be staying dry for your early morning commute tomorrow. And late tonight, even though we do have those clouds hanging around the area, take a look at that full snow moon going on. It should be pretty gorgeous, especially tomorrow night if you get a sneak peek of it, because we'll be seeing the clearing skies here. Overall, we will see those clouds hanging around through the morning, but we are anticipating a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow, helping us reach into the low 70s. Okay, so then we go towards Tuesday. Every single day we get a little bit warmer. We're into the mid 70s on Tuesday,
already.
upper 70s on Wednesday. Then take a look. If you're a fan of the 80s, just like we were experiencing from last week, well, that's the exact same thing we will be seeing this week as well. So steady rise in these temperatures. Again, 79 by Wednesday. The warmest day we do have in the forecast will be on Thursday at 81 degrees before this next cold snap comes in, heading towards Friday. It seems to be the trend here the past few weeks. Every Friday we get that cooler air filtering in, and the weekend just tends to be a bit on the chilly side. So that's going to be the same situation that we are forecasting for the following weekend. So in about a week, yes, we have those cooler temperatures back into the area, but luckily precipitation wise, we're going to be staying dry for the majority of the week. That's why that drier air is going to help reach those temperatures a little bit warmer than where we should be.
All right, futurecast time. As I mentioned here, offshore showers continuing to push offshore away from our area. The winds will continue out of the north, but staying pretty mild overall. And we'll see those clearing skies, and we are not dealing with anything in the way of precipitation really for the majority of the work week here. The next best chance for that rainfall again coming in on Friday. That's the trend, and then we'll be cooling right back off into the 50s for next weekend.
It's now.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes.
I'm Javi. I'm 31.
Don't worry about you, Javi. That's pretty good. 12 new moons.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.
Why are you here? I'm supposed to play Wiggins. Who's supposed to be here? If he shows up, might teach him something.
Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic play together. They're hoping maybe Friday. Meanwhile, Irving gets a chance to impress his new teammates. Good hustle from Green, and Powell pulls it down. Tim Hardaway Jr. connects on it.
Luka and Kyrie, they make life easy for you, and you will have wide open shots.
Terrence Mann knocks that one down.
Embracing being a good defensive team or a good enough team where it gives them a chance night in and night out.
Irving throws it out. Powell with a beautifully timed tip over Zubac. Going to be at the forefront of Doncic and Irving getting accustomed to playing with each other as Paul George drills a three. Seems to be thrilled with having as Kawhi Leonard tried to draw a foul, didn't get the whistle, missed the shot. Here come the Mavericks, who are 10 and 17 on the road. There's Reggie Bullock. 3 for 3 from downtown. Playing with LeBron James, playing with Green comes out with a steal. George in pursuit. Josh Green throws it.
And what if I need help picking a plane?
State Farm's here to help.
Okay, guys. What if he's not actually 7'4"?
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Nothing. It really is something. As an Expedia member, you can save up to 30% when you add a hotel to your flight. So you can have a bit more money to do even less.
Down. But he will make decisions out of double teams or single coverage. It's simple basketball.
Irving knocks that down. That's his first point as a Dallas Maverick. Leonard 1 for 3 to start. Irving, backdoor cut, knocks it down.
Who you train for? I can remember specifically training for a guy when I was a head coach. Has another shot knocked down.
Right now, Mavericks up by a dozen. Kawhi Leonard drives on Powell. Little head fake, kicks it out. Terrence Mann wide open. Look, three-pointer's good. Irving dancing, kicks it back out to Green. Extra pass Hardaway. Off the dribble. Nice ball movement. Reggie Bullock connects on another three. Bullock 4 for 4, all from downtown. Floor for them. Bullock finds the range again. All 5 three-pointers go down for his workload will decrease. His minutes could even decrease. He's 6th in the NBA minutes per game as McGee throws it down. Nice entry pass from Bullock. The Mavericks look terrific. What a start for Dallas. Powell looking for an opening, gets the shot off in time and drills it at the buzzer. Norman Powell All right, George. Well, Kyrie Irving, although he was born in Australia, as Christian Wood turns and scores, he grew up in New Jersey, and he was a New Jersey Nets fan.
Make a pass like that, you don't have to pat your chest and say, my bad. Right. We don't.
18,000 people know. Hardy with the slam and the foul. An explosive move from Jaden Harvey. Different is that in terms of just trying to get acclimated in the middle of the season as opposed to having a whole training camp.
The crazy thing is, for me, I believe it only happened as Powell knocks down the third shot.
And Irving's one of the free throw shooters in the game. Nice drive, left hand, scoop layup is good. He's in double figures, 10 points. There was talk the Laker trade, where Russell Westbrook being traded, going to Utah as Irving launches a three-pointer, and it's good. Kyrie Irving from way downtown.
Congratulations.
Let's send it over to George.
Mike, Mark, I was here last night, and this thing felt like...
Well, he's not the only one playing well. Old George trying to get going. Steps back. Knocks down the three. George now in double figures, and Jason Kidd quickly calls timeout. Bullock bellies up on Leonard, drives past him. Couple of fakes. Terrence Mann gets a good look just as the shot clock expires. A three-pointer for Terrence Mann, and it's back to 11. 7 on the 24. Kawhi Leonard. A struggle here in the first half. Zubac turns, lays it up and in off the glass, and the foul. 4.5 games separate teams 3 through 12. That's 10 teams separated by 4.5 games. As Powell's shot misses, the tip is good. So you could be in 5th place. And comes out of the pack. Kawhi Leonard had a very quiet first half. Starts off the second half with his first field goal in the third. Only his second of the game. Paul George, elbow jumper. Irving also a good rebounder for guards, averaging 5 a game. Pulls up, jumper's good. Kyrie Irving with 16 points. George alley-oop. Pass on the right. Green throws it to Irving. Kyrie Irving back to Green. Good timing on that. And as Green backs it home.
Oh, Booking.com. I'm going to somewhere, anywhere. A beach house, a tree house. Honestly, I don't care. Hello, humidity. A fancy hotel with a sexy garden.
Landscape architect.
A tiny home with aggressive flair. Somewhere, anywhere. As long as they have
Booking.com.
Booking.com.
Yeah.
When you play like us, you gotta go big. Check out my Nerf Eagle Point. With an 8-dart rotating drum,
2-day
detachable barrel, and
process for all.
Play your way
just taking
with the
my
Nerf
time,
Eagle Point. Each sold separately, I would not include. It's Nerf or
as
nothing.
many strands as I can.
Timeout call by the Clippers. Lead right back up to 11.
This list, Bob Danrich, Sam Jones, Dick Barnett, and Zemobiti. So Zemobiti as well.
I saw Mark Cuban talk in an interview, and he said, you know, Luka's the best ball handler in the world. No, that's not true. He's an incredible basketball player.
Irving, Bullock, corner three. That's good. 6th three-pointer of the game. Irving now with 4 assists to go with his 16 points. Leonard, Bullock does a really good job, and Leonard still able to hit. Powell gets inside, kicks it out. Hardaway launches from the corner. That's good. Tim Hardaway, a couple of threes from that same spot for the Mavericks. They've got 14 of 27 from downtown. Leonard tries a three. He's got an answer. Leonard coming alive. 2 points. George off the bounce. Back to Leonard. Fakes, drives, gets inside. Jumper's good. Timeout, Dallas. Spark off the bench has been doing 12 points in 11 minutes in the first half. Leonard gets inside. Left-handed, throws it up and in. Grabs it with that large right hand. Drives on Irving. Shoots over him. Got it. 13 third-quarter points for Kawhi Leonard. There's still 3 minutes to go in the period.
Can't allow him to play one-on-one.
On the drive. Shot no good. Well contested. Hardaway ahead to Hardy. Jake Hardy. Nice move at the rim. Lays it up and in. Vincent across the timeline. If you're just joining us, no Luka Doncic missing his 3rd straight game. Oh, Josh Green, beautiful move. 4th quarter underway. Here in Los Angeles, Irving drives and finishes. Green drives. Deflected, goes to Pinson. Pinson might have to shoot it. Shot clock winding down. Puts up a 3. Got it! P.O. Pinson from downtown. George, difficult shot, gets it in the ball. How many times do you say that during the course of his career? Tough shot. Irving in the paint, drives, back up top. Pinson, 3-pointer, puts it in. Theo Pinson with 9 points off the bench. Here's Powell in the front court. 9-point Dallas lead. Powell drives and finishes. Beautiful move for Powell. He's got 16 off the bench. So Pinson, Wood, Irving, Bullock, and McKinley Wright out there right now for Dallas. Jump shot, Kyrie Irving. A 20-point game in his debut.
In fairness, not the same defender that he was early on. He's got to get back to that. Kyrie comes off the down screen, open shot.
Reggie Jackson open shot after a nice thing. That's on a 2-pointer. Jackson dribbling with a shot clock winding down. Nice steal from Bullock. Timed it perfectly. Here's Irving in the front court. Hesitation, floats it up. Inside, goes to Wood for the finish on a nice touch pass from Pinson. Wood comes to help. Powell again on the drive. Gets in the paint. Oh, nice shot. Driving left, shooting right. It's a 5-point game. Timeout Dallas. Irving to Green. Extra pass inside to Powell. Powell puts it up. Layup is good. White Powell now with 10 points.
Just all 5. And then putting guys in position to make decisions.
George shoots over.
Kyrie.
Shot is good.
Kyrie
Clippers have won 2 of the first 3. They won a game in Dallas. Bullock to Hardaway. Hardaway off the bounce, drives inside. Layup is good. Gorgeous move to the basket from Tim Hardaway. 6th in the West, that is, obviously, as Irving drives inside. Shot is good. Oh, spectacular move there from Kyrie Irving. It's back up to 9. Powell drives and flushes. Irving comes out, double team, back to Pinson. Pinson up top, Hardaway a 3-pointer, puts it in. Tim Hardaway, a huge 3-pointer. Now the Dallas Mavericks will get the victory on the road. Dynamite Dallas debut for Kyrie Irving, 24 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds.
All right, that's it. The hair is officially out and looking
Seems like you
crazy.
really like your job.
So we're gonna go ahead and
Well, you have a burning
wash.
passion for helping people.
We're gonna go ahead and wash this bad boy. Yeah, check me out. We're gonna go ahead and wash this out. Get all this nasty gook out of it. It's a lot of hair. I'm real brittle right now from being cooped up in them twisties, but we'll see the lengthage. We'll see the lengthage check when I get done washing it. All right, I'm out of here. I'll check y'all later.